Time now for the markets with Leighton, and you say the fallout from the January 10th supply and demand reports is about over.
Extension Ag economist Brian Williams-Arness will be lifting the curtain, so to speak, on the corn and soybean trade in light of those new numbers. Also ahead this week in the markets, U.S. catfish processing is up. February cattle futures hit a new high this week as expansion starts in the U.S. hog sector. Just out on Wednesday were the latest numbers on the U.S. farm-raised catfish industry. Now in December, this report says producers received a pond bank price of $1.10 per pound for premium size live fish. Now that is 27 cents per pound more than was paid in December 2012. Farm sales totaled over 26.5 million pounds round weight. That is an increase of 18% from just 1 year ago. Now, processor sales were just a touch over 11.5 million pounds. That is a decrease of close to 9% from December 2012. Moving over now to the beef sector. Brugler Marketing on Thursday morning, the 16th, reported cattle futures were 50 to 70 cents higher after surging to yet another record high on Wednesday of this week. Cash cattle activity had picked up as well. Now, in light of the strong prices for cattle these days, analyst Tom Fitzenmeyer is not wondering where's the beef, but can we sell the beef?
You know, we've been talking really for a year about when this is going to start to hit a little bit, and we are seeing weights actually are fairly well under control. And why the heck wouldn't they be? If you got those kind of bids for cattle, you better keep moving them right along. But the product being that high, I guess I'm wondering whether we're going to be able to sell the beef. And I understand that beef is a quality product. It's perceived that way. When people go out to celebrate, they want a steak, and most of the time don't care what they pay for it. So there's that component of the beef market that's going to be supportive. But for anybody who's struggling financially, poultry and pork offer a pretty good value, and that's going to be a problem for the beef industry, I believe.
Speaking of pork, a Midwest Extension economist notes that expansion is underway now in the U.S. hog sector. Chris Hurt of Purdue University says the growth is modest right now and can be attributed to much cheaper feed prices. He expects corn prices to only increase seasonally and then drop again, while soybean meal prices, Hurt says, should move downward most of this year, 2014. Now, overall, the economist says he believes pork supplies in the U.S. will begin to grow more rapidly in the last half of this year, 2014. Our trivia quiz this week concerns winter weather in Mississippi, and let's take a look at it right now. When was the largest one-day snowfall in Mississippi? Your choices for an answer: 1895, 1913, 1989, or 2009. I'll tell you the correct choice at the end of the markets. Thursday morning, the 16th, the USDA reported weekly cotton export sales are up sharply from the last report 1 week ago. Now, overall in this market, improving economic indicators have traders somewhat optimistic about cotton demand. The thinking is that as the economy improves, so does the consumer's ability to purchase new clothing. Arkansas Farm Bureau economists do note that cotton prices are at a key resistance area, as they put it, an area about 85 cents, and those prices have been unable to break that resistance in recent trading sessions. Well, the recent crop and supply demand reports from the USDA and what they had to say about the grain and oilseed markets are the focus of the market interview this week. Extension Ag economist Brian Williams joined me for a discussion late Thursday morning. Well, let's begin with corn as we look back at those reports from January 10th. Was there anything unusual or surprising about the corn numbers?
There was one real big surprise in the corn numbers. The yield actually was revised down. Most analysts were expecting it to be bumped up, but they actually bumped it down from 160.4 bushels to acre to 158.8, and that was actually outside the range of expectations.
Well, what about feed usage? Was that changed in any regard?
It was. They increased the feed use by 100 million bushels, which was, we think, it probably took some of the bushels away from wheat.
And corn carryout, any modifications there?
Yeah, they decreased it by 160 million bushels, both as the decrease in production and the increase in demand.
Would you say the trade was kind of caught off guard by the numbers in the corn portion of the report?
It was the same day the report came out, prices came down by 20 cents, or went up by 20 cents, and so it caught a lot of people off guard.
So given what that report said, all things taken into consideration, is it time to be making some sales, old or new crop, or both?
I think it's definitely something to think about. There's a lot of things that can still play into it. We're watching the South American crop, and they have a good crop that's coming in, and we're also watching for the planting intentions, but right now I definitely think it's something to think about.
I know the livestock sector seems to be planning on the pressure continuing to be on corn prices. Would you say that will be the case?
Right, with cattle prices coming up so much, and a lot of that is relying on the lower corn prices.
All right, let's turn our attention to soybeans for a moment. Any surprises in the soybean sector?
Not really. The yields were right at expectations. For the most part, everything was real close to the expectations in soybeans.
Before our new feature story, let's check out the trivia answer for this week. And the correct choice is A. That big snowfall occurred in 1895, 15 inches in one day. The location, Batesville in North Mississippi.